Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of Alice in Wonder. And if you know me well, then you know that that's really appropriate for me. What I have been wanting to do is share some ideas of inspiration and encouragement, and especially some ideas and practical tools relating energy medicine and energy healing techniques into a practical application. So every episode, I'm going to have some thoughts and inspiration and a practical tool that you can take into life and work and hopefully have a higher elevated experience. So today, this morning, I was having a conversation with my boyfriend, and we were talking about what's happening in the world right now and how it's not only it's scary. Granted, it scares me, but it also is an opportunity for us to calm down, quiet down, spend some time alone or with those that we're closest with, and get real and get back in touch with who we really are, what our true nature is, and what it's all about. What is this life experience really all about? So we were in that context, and I said to my boyfriend, I said, well, we're just walking around in our soul bag anyway. This body is just our soul bag. And I said, oh, that's from Jack Canfield. So it must have been, holy smokes, Great Falls, Montana. Jack Canfield came to speak, and it had to be about 1998. And of course, Chicken Soup for the Soul books were huge. And so he came to the little town of Great Falls, Montana to speak. And one of the things he said, and I'll never forget, he kind of illustrated, we carry our soul around in this soul bag, and that's our body. And I thought, chicken soup. That's what the world needs right now. We need chicken soup for the soul. And I thought how inspiring that was. And so I came in here to my bookshelf. I wanted to share my bookshelf with you today, one of the many. There's also piles of books everywhere, but I was looking for that book, and I think I got a little too good for that book. I think I thought it was a little trite, and it's one of the books I let go in my several moves over the past 6 years. So at any rate, I couldn't find it. But the point is, we need to find our own chicken soup right now. We need to nourish ourselves, and we have the opportunity to go within. And we're being, by edict, we're being told to social distance ourselves, but maybe there's some really good things that could come out of that. And so one of the things is to go explore our own bookshelf. You are probably like me, and you have a treasure trove of inspiration, information, just plain fun in your books. And so I was kind of looking for the chicken soup book, couldn't find it, but I did find, I just pulled out, I thought, I've never read these books. So I bought this little series of brown books up here at a used bookstore, oh my God, 20 years ago probably. And so I love to do this thing where you just open the book and you see what it has to offer you. So this apparently, if I read it, I'll know for sure. But apparently this is kind of an allegory of the human condition. And so in this, okay, you guys can look it up. Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East. So this is the kind of thing I pick up, of course, by Baird, Bard T. Spalding. Okay, so what I read, and so here's what I read. All we can say is that man brings forth that which he gazes upon and separates himself from God and man. In this way, he can go lower than the animal. So what we were talking about this morning is what you're paying attention to and how that is brought into your life. And so it was really interesting that that's the thing I picked up. And then the next thing I picked up, Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. So this guy's been, in my life forever. How to win friends and influence people was on my grandfather's bookshelf forever, and that copy is around here somewhere. So I looked on, it's a little calendar book, and so I looked on today's, and for March 14th, it says, "The unconquered and unconquerable of this world are those who hold ever fresh in their hearts an abiding faith in a higher power and in their own destiny." So, notwithstanding the news and everything else that's going on, the more we can stay connected to our true nature, our true self, all of this is part of the drama of being human, being in the world, getting to experience a body, and it will pass. So, the energy tool that I'd like to share with you today is actually from another book. And lots of workshops and beautiful time spent with Donna Eden and my mentor teacher in Kansas City, Kim Wedman. So here's the book. I know it's going to be backwards. I'm not that techie, but this is, I think, the first edition of Donna Eden's book, Energy Medicine. So I love Donna Eden, super practical, and bringing this reality of that we are so much more than our physical body, and we actually have, I believe it's our human reason to be, to figure out how we drive our own bus. And that means our energy bus, our mental bus, our intention bus. So are we in the driver's seat of that? And so these tools that I'm going to be sharing with you are going to help you learn and feel and know that yes, I can have an effect. This tool that I'm going to share with you is, I kind of renamed I'm Okay. And I've used this, I'm a coach, trainer, energy worker, real estate broker, lots of things in my life. But I spent many years teaching and training energy tips and tools and how we interact with the energy field. So I renamed this when I'm Okay. And one of my clients that would come in was he drove a forklift in a very busy kind of industrial complex. We have something back in Kansas City. I live in Denver now, but in Kansas City, the caves. Everybody knows what the caves are, and they're huge underground warehouses. So this one client, it came because he had very high anxiety, had high blood pressure, had all kinds of things going on. I think he had diabetes, but anxiety around work was getting debilitating. And so we did some other energy work around that. It's just nice to receive energy work. It's nice and soothing, but I really shifted my practice into more teaching and training energy, because I felt like that's really a misconception. Nobody needs to come through me or anybody else to access the energy field. So one of the tools that I shared with him was I'm Okay. And so he used it at work, and then his wife actually told me, he said that, or when he came back, actually, I was treating both of them, but he goes, that I'm Okay thing is great. And so he's doing it. This big, like probably 6'4" guy is doing this at work, and it helped him cope. So I love this position because you can do it anywhere. You could be waiting in the grocery line. You can be, waiting for your kids at the bus stop. You can be waiting for something to cook, whatever. Nobody's going to know what you're doing but you, and you will feel the difference. So you take your right hand and you place it over your spleen. So the spleen takes a beating in times of stress. Different organs in the body are there to help us in different situations, but the spleen can really take a beating. So you put one hand soothingly over the spleen area, kind of right below your rib cage on your left side. And then you reach around with your other hand and you cradle your upper arm, your right hand upper arm. So we have energy pathways that go through our body, just like the capillaries and veins of our blood vessels that carry blood and energy. We have energy pathways called meridians that go through our body. One in particular is called Tripura Warmer or I like to call it the fight, freeze, or flight meridian, because it starts right here. And you know how you rub your temples if you're stressed? So it starts right here, goes around your ear, goes down behind your shoulder, makes a right angle turn, and then comes down the outside of your arm and off your ring finger. So when we cradle it, we're telling it it's okay. You can calm down. We'll talk a lot more about this in future episodes, but for right now, let's just know that this is a place that we can connect with the part of us that is part of the mechanism that has protected us for millennia and is a good thing. Fight, freeze, or flight. That works really well, but it can get exhausted, and in times like these, it can really get overtaxed. So let's give it a little break. So nice deep breath, one hand over your spleen, other hand cradling your fight, freeze, or flight or triple warmer meridian. And let's just take a nice deep breath there. I'm going to close my eyes just to shut out the visual noise for a minute. Let's do 3 more breaths in through your nose, gently out through your mouth. There's 2. And there's 3. And I can tell I feel settled. I can feel more centered. So you can also sway while you do this. And who's going to know that you're doing anything sneaky, like telling yourself that it really is okay. So that's it for today. This is Alice in Wonder. This is the first episode. I hope there are many more. And I really love and appreciate you. So stay calm and be kind.